Hello, wonderful people, viewers and subscribers all over the world. You're welcome to today's section on Biafra Discourse. Coming to you from the studios of BVI Channel 1, and I still remain Andriod Peters, your host. Today, again, we're going to be talking about Biafra issue. And you know the rules of the game and the rules of engagement on this program. When you call, please turn down the volume of your listening device and let's deliberate as brothers. Let's deliberate without any hard feelings. Here is an open platform where every Biafran, irrespective of your group affiliation, have the platform to speak out and air your opinions freely without any form of coercion or intimidation. But we advise our callers to stick to the topic under discussion. We don't discuss individuals here, we discuss issues. And on that, today we are going to be talking about very controversial. I call it controversial because that is how the Biafran people see it. Many pro-Biafra activists actually don't like discussing this very issue. But the question keeps trumping up. The question is, who benefits from election boycott in Biafra land? Now, I'm going to do a little bit of analysis on this issue under contention, because we have seen a whole lot of pro-Biafran agitators who say they are not part of Nigeria and they don't want to participate in anything that had to do with Nigeria, especially the political activities. That getting engaged in the Nigerian political space is tantamount to elongating the suffering of our people in Nigeria. That is a very wonderful and valid point, I must say, that the Nigerian government have proven beyond every reasonable doubt that every successive government tends to outdo the previous government before it in impunity and impoverishing the people. Okay, that is general in Nigeria. It doesn't it's not only peculiar to the Biafran people. No, the Oduduwas in the west are experiencing the same. The Arewas in the north are even experiencing the worst aspect of it, talking about insecurity. All right, now the Biafran people have said no, that they don't want to be part of this process, this political process. The Nigerian political process is the worst you can think of anywhere around the world. That is the truth. That is the known fact. There is no argument about it. The Nigerian political space is the most corrupt. This process is not clear. The rigging is just unheard of in the entire universe. Just like we witnessed in Imo State, like everybody will always quote. When this issue comes, they will tell you, they will refer you to Imo State, where somebody that came fourth now emerged the winner and the governor of Imo State. And that is why he got the tag Supreme Court governor. Now, the people do not have right again to vote in their leaders. And at the end of the day, the Supreme Court in Abuja will appoint anybody from among anyone to become your governor. So the valid points are there. The reservation is quite understood. Okay, that is to tell you that Nigerian political landscape is just a charade. It's just a mirage in terms of trying to hope to get anything out of Nigerian political activities. Because even the way people emerge as political leaders in Nigeria is unclear, had nothing to do with the people. They don't emerge from the people. They are products of godfathers who have caged the destinies and the lives of an average Nigerian. I am analyzing the Nigerian politics for you. This is a clear court case. There is no argument. Anybody that will argue it is just embarking on what I call self-deceit. There is no gainsaying or emphasizing on it. That is the truth. Okay, we must understand that very well. Now, the Biafran people have said, we jettison anything that got to do with Nigerian politics. We don't want to be part of it. Don't forget, the Biafran land we are talking about today is still within the Nigerian geographical this contraption called Nigeria, within the Nigerian geographical space. I mean the Biafra land. And the politicians, despite some of them being Arewas, some of them Oduduwas, and those Biafrans in Biafra land are playing the Nigerian politics. You know, now, the issue now is the Biafran people has jettisoned it. They say they don't want to be part of this process anymore. And coming down to this place, there are more people that believe in Biafra, that do not want to associate themselves with the dirty process of Nigerian politics, that say, no, we don't want to be part of this process. Many in number. And you can attest to the fact that majority of our people, amounting to more than 90%, want Biafra. So many of them are on this page who say they don't want to be part of Biafra, of Nigerian political activities. And as such, they have declared a total boycott. We have seen a boycott before when the leader then, Owazurike, at the peak of the agitation, declared that no Igbo people are not part of Nigeria and they are not going to participate in the census. And today, thank God, growing into maturity, into this agitation, into this process, he came out to say, wow, because nobody is immune with mistake. Everybody, no matter whom you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how courageous you are bound to make mistakes. That is what makes us humans. So he came up to acknowledge that that decision he took was anti-Biafran. It was anti-Igbos. It worked against our people because it cemented the fate of our suffering in Nigeria. Talking about Nigeria contemporarily and giving advantage to the people that are oppressing Biafrans in Nigeria to have more population, to have more resource allocation, to have more representatives at the center. Now making the Biafran people, especially the Igbos, the minority, instead of actually, in actual sense, the majority in Nigeria. So when he came up to say all that, he acknowledged, and that is a valid point too. He made a valid point, and that's one good thing about leadership. Leadership is not about you not making any mistake. No, leaders, when you make mistake, you acknowledge it, solve it, learn from it, and forge ahead better. And that is exactly what he did, and I appreciate him for that. Now, on the other hand, the Biafran people contemporarily now are doing similar things when it comes to political process. Now, I am airing my own personal opinion on this. And likewise, every one of you out there that are watching, especially the Biafran enthusiasts and agitators, you have your right to air your opinion. I am not an island of knowledge. I don't know it all. I could be wrong. You could be wrong. You could be right. I could be right. We could come at the middle and fashion out a way to get ourselves. You know, because the activities in Nigeria, whether we like it or not, still affects the Biafran people in Nigeria. Now, coming down to the Biafran land, go. Now, let us forget about Abuja and the rest of Nigeria. Keep them aside. Let us now focus on the Biafran land. Because when you look at the caption, when you look at this caption, let me bring it out on the screen so that you see it. You see this caption there? It reads, say no to election in Biafran land. Say no to election in Biafran land. So we are now jettisoning, they are not talking about the entire Nigeria, talking about the Biafran land. You know, the territories of Biafra. They say no election. Now, we are asking the question, who is beneficiary to this very strategy? Because it seems like a strategy, it seems like a plan of action to achieve Biafra. Who is the beneficiaries for this action? For Biafra people to say no or to boycott election. That is what we are going to be discussing today. Is it for the good of the Biafran people or for the good of the political class? We are going to analyze all of that. And I'm going to air my own, on my own perspective, because if you don't know my own perspective, then we cannot interact. So when I air my opinion, then I expect you to bring in your own opinion through calls or through your commentaries No insult. If you insult people, if you try to bully anyone here, we will block you and kick you out of this platform, because we are here for a very serious business. So what we're talking about now is who benefits from election boycott. Is it the Biafran people or the politicians? That's the one Nigerian politicians. That is how I put them. Now, first of all, we have to understand what it is to have what I call the politics of Biafra. There is a huge difference between the politics of Biafra and that of Nigerian politics. There is a huge difference between the politics of Biafra. And don't forget, you have to understand what is politics. Politics is not even about election alone. Election is just one aspect of politics. Politics is being able to make decisions, being able to be part of the process, being able to influence decisions that affect you and your community or your immediate environment. That is politics. It is in the church, it is in the home, it is in your office, it is in the schools, it is everywhere you go. Politics affects you. But the greatest one is the one that is being played by those who are piloting your affairs in government. This is the one that is the ultimate. Okay, now we are asking, if the Biafran people say they are no longer part of this process, and they amount to majority, they amount to 90%, if not more, of the general population of our people who say they are not part of this process, they're talking about election. All right, now if there is an election held, for instance, in Anambra State is warming up next month, okay, but next year rather, but let us first of all step back a little bit to last year. What happened in Imo State? And that is the point of reference to many people who talk about this political process, who talk about political process, who talk about Imo State election, the Supreme Court governor, and the validity of the case to boycott election. All right, now let us take it one after the other. Last year, an election was held in Imo State and other parts of Biafran land. We are not interested in what is happening in the other parts of Nigeria. Okay, we are not concentrated in Biafran land. Now, the people came out to vote. We understand the electoral process in Nigeria. To be honest with you, I say it and I often say it time and over, that APC, PDP, and all these political parties are just two sides of the same coin. What matters most is who rigged the most, who intimidates the most, who uses the force of the security to intimidate voters, who was able to buy his way to the hearts of INEC officials, the conductors of the election, or whatever. That is the person that becomes the winner. Then the people themselves are just made tools. Election. Okay, that is the Nigerian political process for you. Now, after that election, someone was declared the winner. I am not in the judiciary, so I'm not going to interpret. But the truth of the matter is that somebody was declared who is Emeki Hedioha. And when they went to court, somebody who was fourth now became first by their Uruuru standard, whatever the case might be. Good. And he emerged as the winner. And the Biafra people are saying, whenever you come up with, let the Biafra people participate in the election, they will tell you the process is not clear. That the people that you will, after voting, your vote doesn't count. They will go to the Supreme Court and declare another person winner. Now, that is where you have to have an understanding between political revolution and the Nigerian political corruption. When these two, it is a force. And you can agree with me that freedom is not given. Somebody that say, give us Biafra, nobody will give you Biafra. You have to fight for it. Now you have to choose your battleground and your weapons. And to me and my lives, my own belief, I believe that the warfare has shifted from guns and bullets mainly into intellectual warfare. And I must appreciate Nnamdi Kanu and his team of IPOB who are carrying about international propaganda to discredit Nigeria and its process. That is fantastic. That is an intellectual battle, okay, on one angle. Now, coming down to the reality on ground. The truth is that we have seen that Nigerian political space is in shambles. Nigerian political space is a mirage. Okay? Now, when we talk about the impunity of the Nigerian political process and the political revolution, it is a two different things. And that is where the fight has to happen. That is the war. I call it political warfare, where the people will rise to change the government of oppression that have held them down. And that is what we have been talking about. I want to make it very clear so that people will understand when we talk about the politics of Biafra. The politics of Biafra in Biafran land. And you can attest to the fact that Biafran land is still within the geographical space of Nigeria. Now, I want the Biafran people to understand that nobody will give you freedom. Even if you make me the governor, okay, there are things I will do as a governor that will benefit the Biafran people. I can choose to take side with either Nigeria or my people. Just like we are witnessing, the governors of the Southeast have taken side with the oppressors of the people, so as to continue benefiting, just like their counterparts in the West, in the North, and other parts of Nigeria. They do all that, the politicians there do whatever it takes so that they will benefit from Nigerian impunity. You know, Nigeria is an embodiment of impunity. Okay? So they benefit from that madness, from that corrupt system. Okay? So they want that status to continue. They are not interested about the plight of the ordinary people. Like I always say that every Nigerian is a victim of Nigeria. The only beneficiaries are the political class, cut across different regions. That is the truth. Now, coming down to the issue on ground. When the Biafran people decides to boycott election, does it invalidate the electoral process of the Nigerian corrupt political process? Does it invalidate it? Does it cancel it? Does it sabotage it? That is one question we have to answer on the course of this program. Does the Biafran people boycotting election, and you have to understand that even before you start saying that we are boycotting election, our people have already boycotted the election right from time. Our people doesn't participate in the electoral process. When you have over 5 million persons, 10 million persons in a state, when you have over 10 million persons in a state, for instance, Imo State, and just let me not exaggerate. Let me just say 700,000 people cumulatively, everybody that came to participate in the election, both the one they added by themselves, they padded by themselves, completing in the hotel rooms by them, and they come to the number of people that voted cast 700,000. The maximum you can see. The maximum you can see 700, 800,000 from all the votes. The highest. But normally you see people winning election by 300,000 votes, 400,000 votes, 500,000 votes, and as the case might be. Now, if you compare it with the number of people that boycotted that election, that did not take part in that election, you will see that it amounts to about the same number of people who have never participated in the election. I mean the Biafra agitators who say they don't want to be part of it. It has been happening long before now. Even till tomorrow, our people doesn't participate in the electoral process. In fact, it has spread across the entire Nigeria. Nigerian people have given up on the Nigerian political process. So, majority of the people don't even participate in the election. All these years since 1999. Yet, it has never stopped successive governments coming in and making the lives of the people more miserable. That is why the question we are asking, who then benefits from the people shying away, boycotting from the political process? Now, if the people we are able, now the Biafran people are organized. If you are organized, you have people who you entrust that they carry the burden of your aspiration to be free. to be free, irrespective of whatever freedom you are asking for, which we know that the Biafra people are asking for self-determination, to be able to decide for themselves and handle their affairs. Now, if the Biafra people are organized, had a political movement, just like the Catalonians, just like the SNPs, that's the Scottish National Party, just like the ANC, they have a political movement which they use to get engaged into the warfare, throw in themselves into the battleground and fight for the soul of their community and the soul of their region and their land. Now, if the Biafra people are organized, okay, and they say Mr. A is a true hardcore Biafran from the core. He understands the principle and politics of Biafra, the politics of equity, the politics of fairness, the politics of justice, the politics of progressiveness, the politics of innovation, the politics that will hand over the life of the people back to them, because Nigeria is sniffing life out of Nigerians. So somebody that understands that very well, who can, when he is in government, on 30th May, every 30th May, the governor will declare public holiday. We don't need to start coercing anybody to observe our Heroes' Day. The governors have the right and what it takes to declare public holiday on that day, and nothing will happen. And when the world asks what is happening in this part of Nigeria, they will say they are remembering those who were killed because the world tried to hide the genocide committed against our people. This is how to engage in a battle. In this kind of battle, it is people that will do it. They may not go in, the governor may not go in there and declare Biafra. No! But these are the processes that will weaken the strength of Nigerian grip on our homeland. Another example, we talk about our protest. Every day when our youths are out there to express their democratic right to protest, to demand for one thing or the other, either for self-determination or even for good governance, they get accosted, get killed. Our people who, when they gather to do their prayers, when they gather to do exercise, they will invade them and start shooting them. Why? Because you have people who are in government that do not represent your aspiration. The people that emerge from the Nigerian political process because the Biafran people shied away. The resources they are stealing, the resources they are plundering, the hardship you are facing, all emanates from this same process, which the Biafran people refuse to be part of. They say they are boycotting. Now, if I continue to say this, you understand that we continue saying it and elaborating it and elaborating it and elaborating it. Now we ask, who actually benefits from this boycott of this election? And what should the Biafran people do? From my own opinion, like I say, I am giving my own opinion. Then when the opportunity comes, when I open up the lines, then you will be able to drop your own submission. And we can all deliberate on it. Then we'll come out with a very perfect plan of action, which the people who are going to take responsibility for that will start taking it up. Because I must tell you, every pro-Biafran agitation group watches and follows this platform. This is a unifying ground for everyone. Okay? So let us deliberate on this issue. Who benefits when the Biafran people shy away from participating in the political process? The question now that I'm going to dabble into is, how do we engage in this political warfare and subdue this long orchestrated political dogma that has produced the worst of us as our leaders? How do we engage these criminals in power, those people who have stolen the public wealth and made your life miserable? In Biafran land, we are no longer talking about Abuja or Nigeria as a whole. We're talking about in Biafran land. How are we going to go about it? Now, That is why I say we need a total overhauling of the political structure in Igbo land. The worst of us have assumed and hijacked the public space, the government offices. The worst of us. Because they emerge from the Nigerian political madness, the Nigerian political process that is embellished with evil and corruption. Now, how are we going to face this thing and change the status quo? The only way it can be done is through political revolution. And what is political revolution? The people, mass, the masses, mass movement. Mass movement. I must tell you, if you go and watch the buffaloes and how they destroy and decimate the lion pride, their predators, you will understand what political process and political revolution is all about, and how we can overrun these political never-do-wells that had made your lives miserable, that has made our homeland desolate. They have plundered the public way, they have plundered the collect. In fact, they have enslaved us. They have, oh God. How are we going to get these guys head on? It is through the political revolution. And what is political revolution? Mass movement, mass political movement. You may not have guns and bullets, AK-47, and the rest of them to fight, but you have your tongue. I must tell you, I keep saying it.